What's going on, everybody? This is Dominic Dorsey. You are currently in my place of zen. As many of you may know, I love to cook. I love to eat. I am a foodie at heart. And one of the things that I enjoy cooking most is things that have a lot of heat, things that have a lot of spice. My taste buds in terms of a heat index is completely gone. My wife doesn't even ask me if something is hot anymore because she just assumes it is hot. And if I tell her that it's not, then it burns her mouth. One of the few times that I can get away with cooking things as hot as I like to eat it is making a nice, hot, big pot of chili. So today, with it being cold outside, I figured that this would be an awesome opportunity for me to get all the ingredients together, invite you into my kitchen, and make a big pot of my award-winning. And that's not just a disclaimer. That's not just me speaking things that aren't true. I actually did win an award for my chili, my award-winning chili. So let's take a look at some of the ingredients, and we'll get started here in a sec. So as you can see, we have a wide assortment, a variety of ingredients. Of course, chili would not be chili without chili powder. Also have some red chili flakes, garlic powder, cumin, parsley. This is actually poblanos and habanero peppers. And if you've never seen a habanero pepper, it's these peppers that look like this. This is a nice, big, juicy habanero. And the poblano peppers are a little bit bigger, not as hot, but have a good flavor to them, about medium heat. This is a big poblano pepper. All right, got our red onions, got our yellow squash, green peppers, and a big, huge container of diced tomatoes. My chili has a really good heavy tomato base. And also, I'm gonna be unveiling some of my secrets. So this is the sauce that I use to give the flavor and the punch of the chili. You can kind of guess what's in there, but again, it's a secret. Now, everybody doesn't say that they put a sauce in their chili, but there is a sauce in my chili. And what is in it, if you taste it, you might be able to guess, but I don't have any sponsors and I'm not giving away any free advertisements, so that's the sauce that goes in my chili. Okay, one more ingredient. My wife and I were trying to eat healthy. This is an ingredient that I cook with quite a bit. For those who are living a plant-based lifestyle, for those of you who are trying to eliminate meat in your diet as much as humanly possible, let me key you in. Even though they're not giving me any kind of shout out, even though they're not giving me any kind of sponsorship, I'm not getting any munties off of this. Gotta let you in on a little secret. This is the only veggie crumble that I purchased because it actually tastes like meat. A lot of times you get veggie crumbles and they don't have the same consistency, they don't absorb any flavor. This is one of the few that bucks the trend. So I'm a big fan of the Light Life Smart Ground plant-based crumbles. So that's what we're gonna be cooking with today. All right, now what we're gonna be starting with is a big, huge electric skillet. A lot of people like to cook with maybe a cast iron skillet because it's got a special bond with cooks. It absorbs the flavor, it keeps flavor as long as you keep it seasoned, it cooks well, it lasts long. This is my version of the cast iron skillet. It is electric, and everybody's like, oh my God, what is that? This is a packet of the Veggie Crumbles. And I know it looks disgusting when it first comes out. That's okay, it tastes great once it goes down. I know I'm losing viewers by the moment as I'm putting this in here, but that's okay. It tastes great, and you won't be able to tell the difference. And when I invite my friends over, and when I give a bowl to my daughter or anybody else, it goes down great. And it is plant-based and it's good for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 4 packs of this Light Life Smart Veggie Crumble, right? I'm gonna turn the heat up and you'll start to hear the sizzle. Usually when you cook with meat, you're gonna cook it till it starts browning. Well, this is already brown. So what does that mean? It also means that typically when you cook with meat, anytime you're using vegetables with it and you're sauteing, that you kind of wait until the meat is cooked before you can start adding anything. This is not one of those times. You can actually start adding the meat almost instantly. As soon as it starts cooking. So what I'm gonna do is break this up, and you can see it already is starting to kind of look like ground beef, ground turkey a little bit. My pan is greased. It's gearing up, ready to go. I'm just gonna break this up, get it to a nice meat looking consistency, get rid of all those huge blocks, and just kind of go from there, right? Can't even tell anymore, right? Get that going there. Okay, awesome. Voila, right? Looks like meat. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my onions. I'm also going to add my green peppers. I'm going to add some, but not all of my tomatoes. Go ahead and add my cumin. Red chili pepper flakes. Chili powder. And we'll top it off with some parsley. And you know, all households, black households especially, got to use some seasoned salt. All right, just gonna mix that up. Get that going. We're gonna cook that down until our onions start looking a little bit more translucent. Our green peppers start to get a little bit more wilted. I'm gonna go ahead and add in our yellow squash. Got a few more green peppers straggling here behind. A few more onions. Also going to go ahead and add in my peppers. So, as promised, poblanos, and then right there on top are our habaneros. Right there in the mixture. Now, I like using all these vegetables, A, because they taste good, B, because I like a lot of color in my food. I don't like it to be boring. I'm monochromatic if I can avoid it. So the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, even the pinkish purplish hue of the onions, all give it kind of a really cool visual aesthetic that I love in my food. And as long as they are complementary, as long as those particular vegetables and spices go well together, you're in good shape. You don't want to start throwing, peas or asparagus tips or, butter beans into something and they just don't mesh well. They don't work well on the same page. You got a Shaq and Kobe situation going on. You don't want that, especially when you're cooking with things that have really big, bold flavors. So try to stick with the same spice palette. Try to add vegetables that are complementary, that won't clash. We'll go ahead and add the rest of my parsley and my garlic powder. Okay, next I'm going to add the secret ingredient, right? Now, this is my sauce, right? So It's got a thick consistency, a tomatoey base, got some sweetness, got some spice. If you make your own like homemade barbecue sauce, think something along those lines, something like an equivalent to that. Something to give it some tang, some zip. Again, you're looking at basic condiments, your ketchups, your vinegars, brown sugar, things of that nature. Whatever you would use to make a home base for a barbecue sauce, think something along those lines. This is a trick I picked up from my mom that I incorporated into my own recipe, and it's always worked out really well, and people always seem to really enjoy it. So I'm gonna throw this in here next. And no, my countertop is not that high. I'm just that tall, and my countertops are just that low. So sitting on a bar stool, we're gonna make the best of it, right? Already starting to smell really, really good. So this is kind of me testing out my equipment, me testing out my microphone, my cameras, trying to figure out lighting and setting and all that good stuff, so that when I do start doing this show with a guest and I start cooking alongside somebody else, like some of the prep work that I've already done and things of that nature, hopefully that can be done in tandem with someone else as we discuss issues of the day and particular topics. But this is kind of like a trial run, right? So let me know how you think everything is going. Leave your comments below, and I will definitely take those into advisement as we continue on, right? So let's see how our pot's looking. It's looking very chili-fied, right? So it's got a good color to it. That sauce is really starting to congeal a little bit. I'm gonna get the peppers in there working. I'm gonna add a little bit more of our tomatoes. You want it juicy in the pot. Like, you don't want it to be like starting to stick or getting stiff in there. You really want it to work well together, right? Man, when they invent smell-o-vision, I'm in good shape. It smells amazing. All right. Awesome stuff. It's looking good, smelling good. Okay, so I got one more secret ingredient. I've already kind of shared that I really enjoy hot food, that I like spice, that I like heat, that I'm not afraid of the occasional pepper or anything like that. So one more secret ingredient. Do 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 do. I know what you're thinking. Sriracha, everybody and their mama uses sriracha. They put it on everything. It's like the new buzzword whenever you put it in a drive-through. They've got honey sriracha wings. They've got sriracha flavor this, sriracha flavor that. Little tidbit. This ain't just sriracha. This is all kinds of hot sauce in a sriracha bottle. I like various types of hot sauces. I pick up hot sauces as I see them on the shelves. I order them online. I take the best ones and I mix them up in a sriracha container so that it's easy to distribute. So yes, no, this is not sriracha. If anything, it's probably sriracha remnants in here, but I've got everything in here from black truffle infused hot sauce to the last dab, which is like a mustard based hot sauce, habanero based hot sauce, triple X chocolate, heat hot sauce, all kinds of hot sauce. And I don't say that to say, nanny boo boo, you will never know what kind of hot sauce goes into my chili. I say that to say that if you have discriminate taste buds and you have a particular flavor of hot sauce that you like, feel free to add it. You really can't go wrong unless you're going way left on the type of hot sauce that you use. And again, if it's a flavor that doesn't complement the other ingredients that you're putting into your chili. So this is my like Emeril Lagasse bam type moment, right? So this is how we crank that Scoville Index up a notch. Just gonna give it a generous drizzle. And we're gonna mix that joker right on in. Okay. Now, shout out to Malcolm Collins. Malcolm is a former student of mine, former employee of mine. When I worked in Indianapolis, I used to make my chili and dare my employees to eat it as hot as I can stand it, right? Because everybody can't eat it, like I said, as hot as I can stand it. He took the chili challenge, and I may have to splice in some footage from him trying to survive my chili challenge. But it hurts. But he would always get mad because I would say he didn't finish the whole bowl, he left the beans behind. And he would say, I don't like beans. He would argue with me that real chili does not require beans, that it can be everything else except the beans. All right, I'll bite. This is true. My chili has beans. So this is just the first step of many steps that incorporates making the full-blown pot of chili, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to lower the heat on this and simmer and let the flavors get real happy together and party together and integrate and feel inclusive with one another, get cozy. We're going to let those flavors do what they do in this pot, and then we're going to switch over and take a look at our beans. So here you'll see I've got my big silver crock pot and a crock pot stock pot. And inside you'll see I've got an assortment of vegetables in there. I've got some white onions, some red onions, some celery, a little bit of parsley, yellow squash, again, those poblano peppers, and red onions. And that's pretty much all the vegetables that I put into the meat substitute mixture over behind me. But this is where we're going to prepare the beans that are going to go with the chili. So you'll see first, I'm going to add in, I've got a whole container of black beans. This is maybe 4 or 5 cans of black beans, right? I got that in there, and you can use whatever kinds of beans that you like. I'm just going to kind of mix this up in here. Man, there's a lot of veggies, but it's good for you. It goes well. A lot of people don't put black beans in chili. And to this I say, why? You are depriving yourself, right? And that's just, that's half the battle, so to speak. Next, I'm going to be putting in my chili beans, my red beans, right? And again, you can use whatever kind of beans you like. If you do kidney beans, if you do pinto beans, white beans, again, varieties of spice of life. I like using different beans in my chili and mixing it up that way. And again, some people don't like the meat in there, so if you wanted to do a chili mixture with just beans, this is too an option. I'm just going to mix this up, and you see how it's kind of heavy lifting, and we definitely don't want our beans burning in the pot because we're going to cook this, some of this separate before we combine the elements from 2 different pots. So, yet again, to keep it moist, to keep it kind of juicy, I'm going to be adding my sauce mixture in with it, right? We're going to mix that up. I like my chili real saucy. And with all of the different types of peppers and seasonings and sauces in there, it helps it to go like a long way when it's got some juiciness to it. It's got some additional wetness, for lack of better terminology, right? I'm gonna mix that up. I'm gonna put in a few more things. I'm gonna add the rest of my tomatoes. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Right? And of course some chili powder, some seasoning salt. And then a generous dollop of my hot sauce blend. And we're just gonna mix this up. I want all the seasonings to get in there. I don't want any of it wasted left on the side of the pot. It's smelling good. Get my tomatoes in there with it. In the house, big, happy family, right? So I'm gonna leave this on the stove. I'm gonna put this on a low heat, let it simmer. I've just got it like at a 4, just a little bit above medium. And we don't wanna rush this, you know. You want it to blend slowly. Again, we don't want it to stick to the pot. Definitely do not want it to burn. The last thing you want is a burnt stock pot. Not only does it ruin whatever you were cooking, it also can ruin your cookware. So I'm gonna stir this up. I'm gonna let it get going, and then when we come back, we're gonna combine the two. All right, everybody. So now we've let the meat substitute mixture cook for a while. We've let the beans cook for a while. It's been about 30 minutes. Now it's the time that we're going to combine them together and let them slow cook. So for that, I've got the crock pot, right? So now it's time to mix both of the ingredients into the crock pot, set it on a low, and then we're gonna come back and then we're going to plate it, and then we're gonna see how everything tastes, all right? All right, we've got our meat substitute mixture. I'm gonna go ahead and we are going to turn the temp down on this and get ready to make room for our crock pot. All right, first we're going to put our meat mixture in. We're just gonna kind of do this like a lasagna. We're gonna put it in layers, right? Welcome back. So yes, the scenery behind me looks a little bit different. I have my living room to the back of me, and to the front of me is our kitchen, the way that our house is set up. I've just come around the other side of that kitchen island. But now I'm actually sitting at our dining room table preparing to eat the chili that we worked so hard on. I let it simmer overnight in that crock pot that we showed you in the last scene, just so that all those flavors can mesh together, and my mouth is watering just smelling this. I'm gonna show you here in a minute, but everything turned out beautifully. It's got wonderful color. It's got great texture, juxtaposition, everything that I'm looking for in a meal. But I'm hoping that smell that's hitting my nose and making my mouth water is going to be worth it. So let's take a look at what we came up with. Now this is what I call a gorgeous bowl of chili. But you know, a bowl of chili isn't anything until you start adding the accoutrements to it. So my favorites are always going to be green onion, and I'm going to use our kitchen shears to add some green onion. These are kitchen shears. I know people may use them to cut coupons, to open up boxes and things. No, they're used for kitchen items and cutting vegetables. So I'm just gonna add some green onions on here. Love onions. going to add some sour cream. I am a stickler for having remnants of other people's food in my sour cream. I don't like getting it out of the bowl if I can see the last thing the last person ate. So I'm thankful that they have this squeeze pouch of sour cream. I'm just gonna add some sour cream to this. And then last but not least, I'm going to add some Colby Jack cheese. Let's top this off. That's how I like mine. You might do it in a different order, but hey, it's all going in the same place. And then when we spoon this together, textures there, beans, you've got the peppers, you've got the squash, everything's in there melded really, really nice together. But now is the important part. Now is to see if it tastes as good as it looks and it smells. I might have to get back to y'all. Amazing. It's amazing. Even without the cheese, even without the sour cream, even without the onions, the flavor, the juxtaposition of sweet, spicy, it's got just enough chunks of vegetables as well as the meat substitute. It's chewy, but not overly so. Everything's bite-sized, fits great on the spoon, tastes great going down. My sinuses are clearing up because of the spice, but this is my award-winning chili. This is what I call a great bowl of chili and an awesome spoonful of chili. So I've got my something to chew on. Hopefully this has been a entertaining episode for you and an informative episode for you. If you like what you've seen so far, please like or subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel and look for more content as it comes. Like I said, this is my first foray into this. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw, and hopefully the episodes will only continue to improve. If you have a particular recipe or something like that you'd like to see me cook or try, please send it to me. I'll be looking for it in the comments. And until next time, enjoy what you eat.